Hey guys, what's going on? So we are back with another Heroes Unlimited conversion. This time we are tackling Dhalsim from the Street Fighter series. It was first introduced in 1991 in Street Fighter 2. He's been a staple since in the Street Fighter franchise. For Dhalsim, I decided to make him a Mega Hero Ancient Master / Mutant, using the Rifter 37 option. And basically the reason why I did that was because I could not find anything in the book that could really help explain for him to have elongated limbs as well as teleportation. So I decided to make him a mutant in that respect for those powers. And then the Ancient Master for his martial arts is Chi. Instead of making him a standard martial arts master, we made him a martial arts master of Kalapiyat, which is an ancient Indian martial art dating back about 3,000 years. To make it easier for me to say the martial art, I'm just going to call it Kalari, which is what it's also known by. To start off, we have all his attributes. Those are all randomly rolled. And then they've been adjusted as far as skills are concerned, as well as additional powers that have added modifiers, and of course the modifiers from the martial art itself. If you watch any of the Street Fighter cutscenes, the video games, the various franchise spin-offs from series, the comic books, etc., he always has pure white eyes. So in this case, we made it as a mutant trait. We also made him double jointed because that fits his character's ability to be a contortionist. And then for his powers, we gave him elastic limbs, which is basically one of the sub powers from stretching, and we made its own minor power. He still has a horror factor for it. He has limited stretching abilities with his legs and arms. They can't reach as far as a normal person with the stretching power can, and also the ability to stretch his neck. We also gave him some minor bonuses, as you can see here in this worksheet. This is from an earlier mock-up when I was still just putting stuff together. And then we gave him energy explosion fire from his mouth. With that, he can spit fireballs, and that can reach up to a range of 300. Now, because they're fireballs, he's limited in the fact that he can do one at a time. Can't do the volley attack or do the dual fire blast technique if someone had like arms. He can't split the damage or anything like that. He can only do one attack basically at a time. He can also do a flamethrower effect with a more limited range, since it can only go about 20 feet or so from his body. We also gave him his trademark teleportation, which he uses a lot in the games as a dodge. And then we gave him some psionics, also mutant traits, and also help represent some of the mysticism that he portrays in this various series. We gave him biomanipulation paralysis, where basically he can move his arms and neck in a rhythmic fashion to hypnotize an opponent, making them paralyzed, and if they fail a saving throw, they can't move. We also gave him telekinetic airwalk to help simulate his ability to levitate off the ground and float and fly. And in this case, we limited it to him being able to do it only in a meditative pose, or what's known as the liberation pose. Can't move as fast as normal on the ground, but he can use it to still like dodge like sweeps and stuff like that. Then for his ancient master abilities, we gave him the feigned death, we gave him the cleansing spirit. And then for his ancient master abilities, we gave him the first two, feigned death and cleansing spirit. So basically he can pretend to be dead, that even a regular doctor won't be able to see that he's actually pretending to be dead unless they have access to medical equipment. Same thing with cleansing spirit. It gives him the ability to purge his body of any toxins and diseases after a 24-hour trance. And then for his remaining ancient master abilities, we gave him extraordinary mental affinity, extraordinary mental endurance, and extraordinary physical strength, which comes with the ancient master itself normally. For his skills, we did kind of keep him focused towards the idea of a healer, holistic healer, medicine man, wise man of the village. So for his ethnicity and language, I ended up making him Marathi, which is one of the ethnic groups found within India. Looking at his stage designs and seeing the type of tapestries that are set around the location, as well as the garments worn by the villagers in the background of his fighting stages. Not to mention also his appearance. He is very dark skinned. He does not look like East Asian compared to like Chinese or any other of the neighboring countries. So that automatically like excluded like at least two of the ethnic groups. That's how I ended up making him Marathi. We also gave him Hindi, which is basically the major language in India after English, thanks to the British. We give him two art skills as per the Ancient Master, not to mention boxing, wrestling, climbing, biology, first aid. And then he also gets two domestic skills and two physical skills, so we made that gymnastics and outdoorsmanship, as well as animal husbandry for elephants. That way he knows his way around elephants, he knows how to calm them down, he knows how to, get them to cooperate. Although granted, animal husbandry for wild animals is reduced in half, so that's something to keep in mind. Secondary skills, so burned up a lot of skills for holistic medicine, holistic chemistry. Since they're secondary skills, they cost additional skill each. Both those skills end up costing 2 secondary skills. Gave him horsemanship for elephant, so that way he knows how to ride the elephant as well. Then we also gave him brewing medicinal, wilderness survival, land navigation, fasting, yoga, and those are his starting skills. And then later on, he would learn English, how to read and write it. Then we give him contortionism, dieting, and then identify plants and fruits, and dowsing, so he can find water when he's out in the wild. And then for sub skills, we got language Tamil, and then ancient master, he gets proficiencies, and we just ended up swapping out one of them. And then we got skills from gymnastics, and then finally we got acupuncture. For his martial art powers, he has blind man's kata, so he can still defend himself against any melee attackers while he's blinded, and he gets a +2 to parry and dodge. And it only works as long as they have chi within their body. So if they're inanimate objects with no chi, he can't detect them, through the kata. Same thing with someone that's already used up all their chi. He can't detect them through the kata, because the whole kata basically is he's sensing their chi, through focusing. And actually, if the character had chi awareness, which he doesn't, then it would be an even higher bonus. But because he doesn't have it, he's limited to a +2. We gave him Qigong, that way he can increase his natural AR against melee attacks, whether they're unarmed or armed with like swords, axes, stuff like that. It also works against arrows and crossbolts. It also works against arrows and bolts fired from crossbows, as well as fire attacks such as like a flamethrower or just someone spitting fire. It does not work against magic or chi, firearms or explosives or other forms of energy, and he does need to power it with chi, which only costs 2 per round, so considering he's got over 30, it's relatively useful for a bit. He also has the Duwatsu, healing Atemi, so he can actually reverse the effects of an Atemi attack for the most part. He still can't affect Denmark, but any other ones he can reverse it, get the person out of whatever debilitating effects from it. He can also use it to wake up any allies. He can also use it to wake up any victims that are knocked out, stunned, paralyzed, or suffering from some form of shock, like a momentary shock. He also has Enlightenment Strike, which is basically a martial art version of an exorcism. The person does need to be within hand-to-hand range, but he basically does kind of like a push towards him and splits his hands, and that's when the creature would be expelled automatically, which is great, considering his role is like defender of a village. So I thought an exorcism-like ability would be a great asset to him, especially as his role. And then the final ability is Resist Chi Influence, and he has enough control over his own body's chi, like say using negative chi to destroy the positive chi in his body. He gets a 60% chance to resist the power. That's the saving throw. He does have a lot of weapon bonuses. Those are from his Ancient Master Martial Arts. Saving throws. And then finally we got notes. He's born November 22nd, 1952. So when the Street Fighter II first came out, he would have been 38 years of age. We know Dhalsim's wife is named Sally, and his son is named Datta. We know he's Hindu, and he follows the god Agni, the Vedic god of fire, who basically is the mediator of mankind and gods, as well as the officiator, witness to mankind. So he witnesses various occasions such as weddings, the birth of children. He's also the protector of homes. We know Dhalsim's a vegan. Dhalsim's name was originally named after an Indian restaurant that was near the Capcom offices of Osaka, Japan, and I believe the name was called just Dals. And the word Dal itself means lentils, and Sheen means beans, specifically hyacinth beans, which are the type of beans found in that region. Before Dhalsim was finalized as Dhalsim, he had 2 other working names during the character and game development. And one was Naradatta, which was based off some Japanese manga. I forgot the name offhand. And then the other one was Hindustan, which was India and Hindu, and that was obviously not used for obvious reasons. And then there we go. That's it for Dhalsim. Very straightforward. Like I said, the biggest surprise really was just his SDC. I was not even thinking it'd be that high until I started adding up the numbers. And then the final note, kind of a grim fact. Dhalsim is known for wearing skulls around his neck. And the reason why he wears these skulls are actually the skulls of some children that died in his village during a pandemic. And so they serve as a grim reminder of him failing to protect his village and him trying to do better for the future generation. Kind of fucked up, not gonna lie. But hell, that's one hell of a motivation. So I hope you like this character conversion. Overall, I think it captures the spirit. Please leave a comment, like the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll try and get the next character up as soon as possible. But alright guys, thanks for listening to me ramble, and I will leave you here, and until I see you next time, take care. Bye.